So today I have a slightly different video for you. Normally, as you know on this channel, I talk a lot about investing and all things money related. And when people think about it, it's usually about obviously how to save money, spend money and invest money. But of course, in order to do all things, we have to earn money, right? And obviously my channel is called Smart Money with Kai, not just Smart Investing with Kai. So today I really want to focus on the earning and income part of that equation, and in particular about my own business model, the smart money business model. So in this video, I want to take you through my way of thinking, what I want to do with this channel, with my brand as such, which I'm only starting to build slowly, but I have some visions for it. So I want to run you through that, and hopefully it will be useful and maybe inspirational for some of you to start your own business or get some ideas how you can pivot your existing business and just, get some food for thought. In the future, I want to do more of these videos interviewing other successful people, not as a podcast, but really as a YouTube channel where I interview them in person ideally. I got a lot of requests for Zoom calls, but honestly, I don't really enjoy watching them myself. I prefer doing it in person, how I'm filming it right now. I would like to sit with other people, successful people, and so I get inspired by them and learn something from them myself. Now, as a quick background story for those who didn't know me before, I used to be a luxury 5-star hotel general manager working in different countries around the world and have been doing so for 15 years. So I really built up a nice career over the years. But yeah, eventually I called it quits. I mean, that was quite a surprise to many, but I just felt it inside of me that there's more to life than just working for somebody else and following the corporate path. So far, it's been going really well. And it's all thanks to my passion. I started almost 3 years ago building up this YouTube channel from which I started getting other sources of income, which allowed me the opportunity to be able to quit my job. Because of course, it's very difficult to quit your job if you have financial obligations on the one hand side, but then no income on the other, right? So luckily, I managed to build up that side income. It's not quite there yet to what I had before, but every month it's getting closer and closer. And I know the upside potential is so much higher of what I can earn in the future versus if I would have just continued my corporate career. So let's talk about the smart money business model, I call it. And obviously, as you know, my channel is called Smart Money with Kai. And I really put a lot of thought into this in the beginning and was wondering, how should I call it? Really with a long-term intention, because I knew when I started, I don't want to do this for a year or so. I really want to be committed with this. I'm really a committed guy. If I say yes to something, I usually stick with it. And ideally, I want to build something that can live beyond me, right? Right now, I'm enjoying being in front of the camera, putting myself out there, but I don't know how it's going to be in 10, 20, 30 years from now, right? Maybe I don't want to be every other day in front of the camera filming videos, but I would like still this company or brand that I'm trying to build up still to continue, right? Maybe other people will follow. So that's why I want to have different areas, not just one YouTube channel, but other parts to it. Because again, platforms come and go. I want to have different avenues of revenue income sources, of awareness building channels and other parts as well. So I call it the smart money business model. And then obviously we talk about all the various things involved in that. And to be fair, a few times along the way, I was thinking to change it to my own personal name, but now I'm actually quite happy I didn't, because once again, as I said, one day I might want to step aside and then have somebody else enter or take over or what have you, or maybe sell it one day. I don't know, right? So many things. Who knows what's going to happen in 20 years from now? But this way, I'm quite flexible. But I always keep that smart money component in there. I'll speak about this a bit later. My newsletter is called Smart Money Moves. In the future, I could have a podcast called Smart Money Talks. The club I'm going to be talking about is going to be the Smart Money Club. So I want to have that smart money brand over there and then various different things that branch out from there. So that's the overall idea there. Now let's kick things off, starting of how I'm trying to build and grow the awareness around that brand, or my channel in this case. And first of all, of course, it's YouTube, the channel you're using right now. And even though it's still a tiny channel, less than 15,000 subscribers at this stage, hopefully we'll reach it very soon. I already see so much traction from that, because if somebody follows a YouTuber, it's different than if you follow somebody on TikTok. A TikTok is a few seconds, you like it, you give a like, you maybe a follow, but you may not see that person in your feed for a long time. On YouTube, you spend sometimes, my average videos are anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. So you spend a lot of time. If you watch 2-3 of my videos, we would have been hanging out an hour together, right? So that's really how you connect with somebody, where you then either decide, well, that person is not for me, or if you keep on watching and like the content, you really resonate and almost become friends, right? I watch a lot of YouTubers, they never know I exist, but I feel they're like my best friends because I watch all their videos and I know all about their life. And for me, it's so cool, right? And that's why I think it's one of the beauties of YouTube, very much different to some of the other short form content. And that's why I'm not a huge fan of making a lot of short form content, all these reels and YouTube shorts, even though I know I should be doing more of that because it can drive more awareness and eyeballs to your channel. Overall, I like long form content, less edited, less polished in a way, because I think we're also going that way away from all that glossy and perfectly curated YouTube video content, which sometimes really makes it seem out of touch for the everyday person, and that way you can't really relate to a person. So I really want to be always relatable to you guys, because really I feel like I'm a normal guy, right? I just like to share my passion for finance and investing and all things money. So definitely YouTube is going to be my bread and butter, and that's why my main focus is on putting at least 3 videos out every single week, and I can see the success from it, and this drives everything else. This drives my Instagram following, my newsletter subscribers, and of course also my revenue. So I really make sure I'll do that. Of course, I'll continue also having live streams, which I can see more success with that. So yeah, a lot of things, but YouTube will always remain my first priority in the business. Then let's move on to the next one, which is Instagram. Now, I've been a little bit late to the party here on Instagram, I must say. When I was working my corporate career, I tried to be a little bit more active. And funnily enough, I was often told by my corporate office at the time, to take it easy, not to put yourself out there, and it's not really good for your own brand. And at the time, I was really confused and I really didn't understand why they would say it. Now, in hindsight, I actually think it was really not the smartest thing to say, because I was actually always promoting my employer. But there you go. Still, some people don't see the power and potential of social media. And with my wife being an influencer herself, building her own brand all around Instagram actually, and making a very good living from that, I really got inspired. And even though I'm not a huge consumer on there, I understand the power that it has to offer as just another tool of how you can reach a different audience. Because not everybody's on YouTube, right? I have to respect that. So I have to be on other channels as well, so I can connect with more people. Now, I did try, of course, some of the other channels like Threads, TikTok, or even X or Twitter as it used to be called. While I'm sure they're nice and can show great success, I'm a one-person show. Right now, I'm a solopreneur, if you want. I don't have any team members, and I just can't do everything, right? I try to do too many things, but then if you only do 1 or 2 posts a week, then actually you're not really getting much traction. So I really focused and made sure I focus on YouTube, as I said, first priority, then a bit of Instagram, and then I have one more channel, which is LinkedIn, which traditionally I used to focus all around my hospitality part and knowledge and wisdom, if you want to. But now I'm also making sure I pivot more and more into my smart money endeavors, because actually I'm really trying to step away from the world of hospitality. I've done it, I enjoyed it, but honestly, mentally, I really want to let go and move on to something else. And it's hard, once again, to have different things. If you want to succeed at something, you really need to focus yourself full attention on that. And I did a few consulting gigs recently for hospitality. But honestly, again, ultimately, I had deadline from another person. I had to be diplomatic, right? I can't just always speak my mind. I still have to be professional and kind of say what they want me to say and what have you. So in the end, I was still feeling like I was a little bit employed, which I was really trying to run away from and to really build my own business. So yeah, while I enjoyed it, as I said, now I really focus on my own thing, and that's why I really let go of all the hospitality part, and slowly I'm shifting my content on LinkedIn also towards smart money related things. Then of course, for the awareness, we have also my website, which I started, and honestly, it's good. I'm happy with it. It's not great. I always like to check other people's websites, and there's still so much more I want to do with it in the future. But at the same time, I'm also starting to learn the principle of done is better than perfect, because in the past I used to try to perfect everything, and in the end didn't do anything, right? Even trying to put a piece of content, I filled myself with a story and I didn't like it and I didn't post it. In the end, I wouldn't post for a whole few days in a row. And the same with the website. I was spending weeks and weeks playing with different website tools, and I didn't like this and I didn't like that. And in the end, nothing was done. So now I went with Squarespace, which maybe is not the best solution, but at least I have a working website in place. I have a blog there, so I'm getting a bit of SEO traction. When people Google me, they find me, and it just gives a bit more credibility. In the future, I'll definitely improve it, but for now, I'm happy with it. And that way I'm already being found through Google. So once again, driving more awareness. From there, they can then go to my YouTube or subscribe to my newsletter. Then of course, we have also keynotes and podcasts. And I think that's something I want to be doing more of in the future. I always enjoyed giving interviews. I've been on a few podcasts in the past, but that was mostly related to my hospitality career, where people interviewed me on different panels, as well as keynotes, which I used to give, again, being a general manager. But now I'm so happy that I'm already booked for 2 speeches to give to a big audience that hired me actually after they saw all my social media content, my YouTube content, and they liked and enjoyed it and wanted me to talk about this. And really, I'm so happy, because obviously that way I can reach a new audience. I can share my passion for what I'm doing, and also give some inspiration for people who may be stuck in the 9-to-5 job and want to transition into building their own business. So hopefully I can inspire some people along the way. And I think that's yet another great way how you can put yourself out there, that more people will find you and also might end up choosing to follow me. The next point is something I'm not actively doing, but could definitely consider doing that in the future, and that's running ads, right? That could be running ads on YouTube, on your YouTube channel, just to get more eyeballs and awareness out there. A lot of successful people are doing this, and I think there's nothing wrong with this. Right now, I'm still trying to build up all my organic content and just put it out there to grow organically. I don't have all the systems in place, right? If I want to run ads and spend money on it, I want to have things perfected, right? If they sign up to my email, they get an email sequence, they got to be rerouted somewhere else to my paid products, what have you. I still don't think it's all in place yet, but once it is, I definitely consider running ads. And I think it makes sense. It's a smart way. If you get a good return for your investments, why not, right? The same how I invest in stocks, I invest to get more out of my money. The same is true for my business. If I invest €1 and get €5 out of it, I mean, that makes perfect business sense. And that's what I call smart money. And the last point in terms of awareness would be with regards to affiliate. That's actually one of the ways how I earn money, and I'll talk about this in a second. But I also want to have my own affiliates. Once I have my products out there that I'm selling and people can join, for example, the community and my courses, I want to have people who went through this and really enjoyed it and almost become like an ambassador for that program. And not just that, I don't want to just say thank you, but actually they have a monetary incentive to talk about it and share it with others. And once they sign up, they actually get a little kickback from whatever that person ends up spending. And for me, that's one of the nicest business model because it's win-win-win scenario, right? I win because somebody buys my course or joins the membership. You win by referring me and make some money in the process. And the person joining wins because hopefully you recommended a good product and they get really good value out of it. So I think that's an amazing business model. It basically goes back to the old school word of mouth, just in a digital world. I love it myself as being an active affiliate. For example, if you use any of the links that I have down in the description below of the video, every time somebody signs up to any of those services, I get a bit of money in the process, right? And I think that's an amazing business model and something I'm not actively doing yet, but once I have my products out and my different services, I will definitely be making use of this. And if you are already interested in becoming an affiliate for my services in the future, drop me an email. I'll be happy to talk to you and see how we can work together. Next up, let's talk about monetization. Now, it's all nice to have awareness and people following you and a big community, but at the end of the day, I mean, I'm doing this because I enjoy it, definitely. I want you to learn something and benefit from it. But of course, ultimately, I also need to make a living. I'm not a charity. I'm not a trust fund baby who has millions sitting around. I can just take it easy and make random content. Obviously, while this is a passion, it's also a business and I want to monetize it and make a living from it, obviously. Let's talk about the various ways that I'm already monetizing my channel and business so far. Now, the most obvious one is obviously YouTube ads. Whenever any of you watches my video, you might see throughout the video different ads. So every time you watch that, I appreciate it because I do get a little bit of money from that every time. Unless, of course, you have a YouTube Premium, then I still get money, but a little bit less. But either way, this is how creators make a living on YouTube. Now, generally, that's a nice part of income, even though it's not the biggest one, but still, it's a sizable amount that has been growing consistently over time. And again, I'm still a tiny channel. I think if I keep on growing and developing over time, this can really be a nice amount, even though I never want this to become the biggest amount because, again, things happen, right? YouTube in the future might decide to change the business model and lower the price for all the ads. And there's nothing I can do about it, right? Because I'm on borrowed land, basically. I'm using their platform. So if they change any of their rules or maybe have no more advertising at all, only YouTube Premium, I might hardly make anything from the ad. So while I do enjoy it at the moment, I don't want to build my whole business around. Currently, my biggest income source is actually my affiliate income. As I just spoke about before, what I want to do for my own products in the future, I'm doing the same thing for other service providers, right? Every time any of you opens, for example, a stockbroker or signs up to any of the other platforms or tools that I'm recommending, I'm getting a bit of a kickback. And that's really profitable long term. Now, of course, there are different kind of affiliates. Some of them are one-offs. Most of them actually are one-offs. But in the future, I want to work more and more with products and services that actually have a recurring affiliate because a lot of providers, they offer recurring affiliates. So every time you sign up to something, let's say to email service provider, and every month that you pay them, I would get a certain cut from that payment paid to me without any additional cost for you. I think that's amazing. Imagine somebody uses a service for 2 years and it costs €50 a month. You make 50%. That's €25 without doing nothing every single month. Not a one-off. Right now, if you open a broker, it's a one-off payment, which is great. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But at the end of the day, that's just a one-off. So I'm really trying to have more recurring payments coming to me because I think then you can really better project your future income. Because right now, these affiliate income, while it's nice, can actually change month to month. So I want to have it a bit more stable going forward. And also, I'm really transparent. I only promote products and services that I really use myself and can stand by, because I get approached by a lot of people to become the affiliate, but I don't like their products. And that's why I'm not going to promote those. The next one would be a level up from that. That would be specific sponsorships. So that's, for example, when a big brand approaches you and you agree on a certain amount of money. And for example, in one of the YouTube videos, I would have a dedicated section in the middle of the video usually where I talk about a specific service or product, and they would pay me an amount on that. And honestly, these sponsorship deals can get really lucrative. I mean, I know some YouTubers, they're charging 5 up to 6 figures per video integration. I mean, it's unbelievable. So probably I wouldn't be getting that much in the beginning, but up to €1,000 per video, definitely I wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, that's something I want to do more long term. I think there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of YouTubers are doing it these days. And as long as it's aligned with your brand identity and nothing scammy or fishy, I think there's nothing wrong with it. Hopefully you would also be getting a better deal with my sponsorship. some code or promotion. And that way you benefit, I benefit, and the brand benefits as well. So right now, I didn't have any concrete sponsorship deals. I did get some offers, but to be honest, those sponsorships came from mostly some dodgy crypto exchanges, which I really didn't feel comfortable promoting here. So from sponsorships, let's move to the newsletter. Now, I've been really working hard on sending and growing my weekly newsletter, which I call Smart Money Moves. So if you haven't signed up yet, go to the link in the description down below. You can sign up. Smart Money Moves. You see, once again, I try to keep the brand identity of Smart Money. Just call it Moves in this case. I send it once a week. It's less than 5 minutes to read, so hopefully it will be worth your time. But yeah, recently I changed once again my email service provider actually, because I started off on Substack. Then I went to Squarespace email, and now I'm with ConvertKit, which in the beginning I stayed away because it can get quite expensive, to be honest. The more subscribers you have to a newsletter, the more you have to pay on a monthly basis, and the amount can get quite high. But I actually see so many benefits in it. And one of the benefits, for example, is if I hit more than 10,000 subscribers through ConvertKit, I can actually get integrated automatically some sponsors into my newsletter that would just have a place in my newsletter somewhere, and they would do all the sourcing, the pricing, and I'll just get paid for it in return. Obviously, it will be once again aligned with my brand values, but they will do everything at the back end. So funnily enough, I was watching one of the creators who's spending a lot of money to acquire new subscribers. They spent around $2 on getting 1 new subscribers. So in the end, he said he spent around $10,000 a month to get new subscribers. At the same time, every time he sends an email, and he sends it twice a week, he gets a lot of sponsorship income from that newsletter. He makes $30,000 a month just from his newsletter sponsorship alone. And that's why he can justify spending those 10,000, because once again, you invest 10,000, you make 30,000. That's smart investing. And that's why I'm really interested in growing my newsletter further, not just for the sponsorship part, but I think also for the engagement building part. Here, that's your platform. As I said, Instagram, YouTube, I cannot control the algorithm. It can change tomorrow. But email, most people, they read it on their phone, they read it when they're in the office. Email is always going to be in your face, and there's a higher chance of real interaction versus if it's somewhere on your feed, you might just scroll past my content. But if you actively subscribe to my email, there are higher chances that you will actually engage with it. And lastly, we have the one-on-one consultations. Maybe you've seen in the description down below that I also offer one-on-one calls. Basically, you can book me for half an hour or 1 hour, and we can have a call, and I can walk you through and explain you certain concepts or principles or even career advice or just a friendly chat. So I had already quite a number of calls in recent times now that I've been more actively talking about it, and I really enjoyed it. Actually, I really love it. I had calls with people from Europe, from Asia, even from South America. So really, really cool. And that people pay money to talk to you. I mean, it's still sometimes really surreal, but I actually really enjoyed it. And more importantly, that they can actively help them. So while it's nice and I'll continue doing this, actually, it's not really scalable, to be honest. So what I mean is, here I'm really trading my time for money. Now, of course, the compensation is not bad, but my goal is long-term to really scale up my business much higher. And if I only sell my rates on an hourly basis, eventually there's going to be a ceiling as to how much I can earn. But if I'm going to be on holiday or get a cold or what have you, and I can't do the call, I'm losing out on money. So I want to have systems in place that make me money even if I'm not there actively working on it. So I will still continue having those calls, even though very soon I will increase my rates actually, because I just want to have less of those. And if I have them, I want to earn more from it. At the same time, I want to be more invested. Right now, if I have a half an hour call for 100 euros, it's nice money, to be honest, don't get me wrong. If I can spend that time on other things, building up a course that later on can sell me thousands of euros passively, I rather spend that time building up such a thing rather than on a one-on-one consultation. But of course, I've seen people, big creators online or other entrepreneurs, where you can book them, and I've seen rates like 1,000 euros for 15 minutes, and people book them, right? So I think if you become a thought leader or person that people want to connect with or hang out or learn something from, I think in the end, they're willing to pay whatever it takes, right? So I'll continue doing that, but at the same time, it's not something I really want to grow much further. With this, we come to the next steps of what I'm planning to do in the near future. And the first thing I'm planning to do, I'm actually working on this right now, is to launch a first online course. Now, obviously, I know a lot of people may not like online courses because they say education should be free. Well, if you ask me, technically everything that you may want to ever learn is already free. It's all out there on the internet. You don't have to pay for nothing, right? But why is it then that course creators are doing so well and the industry is absolutely booming? Because it's something different if something is presented to you in a structured, well-presented manner. And myself, actually, I took quite a few courses. Was it necessarily rocket science? No. But the way it was explained to me, that was part of challenges, things that was explained to me that I could resonate with and actually take action, that's what I paid for. Not only the knowledge. Knowledge is there in the internet, right? I can find everything. If you have YouTube, you can learn anything. But ultimately, you want to be held accountable. You want to be guided through a certain process. Why people go to Harvard and all these fancy schools. Again, all of those things probably in some books and some libraries around the world. You could learn it free of charge, yet people spend thousands and thousands for that. So I think there is a real market for it. And again, if some people are not comfortable taking a course or don't want to pay for it, I totally get it. And that's why I continue putting out free content on YouTube. But at the same time, I've been approached by so many of you asking for a specific guide and a course. That's why I thought it might make sense, and why not benefit from it? Obviously, it will take me a bit of time to put it together. Once it's there, it basically sells itself on autopilot, right? Any one of you can take it whenever they're ready for it, and then at the same time, there's no extra work for me. So I think it's an amazing business model and something I want to start with one course, and later on, I might have courses on different topics, and depending on how it goes, how the feedback is, but I'm really excited for it, and I'll talk more about this very soon, the closer we get to the launching date. And something I'm even more excited about is my new online community. So that's something I'm working on actively right now. Next week already, I'm going to have my first beta testers in there, which have been early subscribers to my channel and people who've been really supporting me along the way. People I never met in person. They've only been following my channel and always interacting and giving me feedback, comments, and what have you. So I really appreciated those guys. I invited them to be the first testers of this community. And once I got their feedback and everything is ironed out and works perfectly, I will open it up for more members. And the idea here is, once again, to build a proper smart money club where people can really join and have a community of like-minded people. Because you might have heard the saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Now that sounds all nice and great, but honestly, a lot of people, myself included at the time, I didn't know many people who are successful investors or who have successful businesses, right? If you live in a local village, it's hard to find those people. So yes, you could listen to podcasts or watch some YouTube videos, but that's different, right? If you hang out with a community that you can really interact, exchange your thoughts and ideas, it's just different, right? So I think there's a real need for it, and it really goes beyond the Facebook group. Right now, I do have a Facebook group, but I'll be very honest, I didn't put much love in it, and that's why it's kind of not really happening much. So here the community is really a place to hang out, to chat with each other, live calls, live streams, different monthly challenges where everybody shares their struggles and other people can jump in. We share our own investment portfolios, the lows, the highs, some recommendations, and also member meetups, right? I want to be able to go to a different city, say I'm there, and then collect people and have meetings and so forth. So I think it's really going to be super exciting. As I said, it's much more than just a Facebook group or some random Discord server, which seems to be very popular, or follow me on my Patreon. I post a picture and you pay me for it. I don't really think it's a proper membership or community experience. I think this platform is really amazing. I've been doing so much research on this, so hopefully you're going to love it as much as I do. I think it's going to be amazing. And once I get close to launch, I'll let you know, but I'm really excited for it. And hopefully many of you will join because I think we're going to have a great time there. Now, of course, it's not going to be for free. And I think also it's important that it's not for free, because if something is very cheap and costs very little, you will have very little engagement. Same with the Facebook group, right? It's free of charge. You can join, you may interact, you may not. But if you pay for something, you have a different commitment level. Same with the gym membership. Well, some people still decide to skip the gym, even though they pay for it every month. But still, in my case at least, when I pay for something, I want to get value out of it. I want to contribute. And that's the whole idea. I don't want to have members who just pay and don't contribute. In this case, I'd rather not have their money, but not be part of the club. I really want to have active members that interact with each other, help each other out, and want to learn and grow with each other. I think that's really the goal here. So yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm going to talk more about this very soon. And the last part, but that's further down the road once the community is in place in the courses. But eventually I want to have also masterminds. So masterminds is basically where you and a group of people, up to 10, maximum I would say 20 people, will go somewhere exotic. It could be Dubai, it could also be Bali or somewhere else around the world, where we really spend 2-3 quality days with each other in the same place. We stay in a cool hotel. There's going to be different speakers. We're going to learn something. We're going to do some cool activities. We're going to challenge ourselves, to do fire walking or ice bathing or some crazy things. So I'll definitely think about this. So obviously that's something I really want to be doing. I enjoyed it myself, and doing it once again with like-minded people, ideally coming out of the community, who are already member, who've been part of the movement for a while. And then together we can really deep dive into specific topics that could be centered around different topics, right? Could be around business building, could be around investment. We can have different themes of that mastermind, but I think that would be really exciting. Something I've seen other successful people do, and something I would like to do myself in the future. Well, there you have it. Quite extensive business model. I hope you found it interesting and maybe learned something new for yourself or got some inspiration. So as you can see, guys, anything is possible. It just starts by having an idea, and more importantly, start executing. Start small and you'll be surprised. Something might just stick and might snowball into something bigger, and eventually might allow you to leave your full-time job and you'll be able to pursue your true passion. For me, it's still sometimes surreal thinking that I'm able to work anywhere I want in this world, anytime I want. There's no working hours for me. I can show up whenever I want, where I want, and that's absolutely amazing. Location and time, freedom, I absolutely love it. And if I follow this business model and work hard and continue to put out content and value to people, eventually I believe financial freedom will also follow. Thanks for sticking around all the way until the end of the video. It's because of you guys that I'm able to do what I do, and I really appreciate you for it. Next up, check out this video right here. As always, stay healthy, get wealthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.